Hi there, it's watching Siobhan, and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap up. If you see me looking down, it's just my notes with all my stuff on it. In the month of December, I read 12 books, which I was surprised at because I didn't think I'd read that much. I was a bit shocked, to be honest, when I counted them up. I was like, that doesn't seem right. So I had to triple check, and sure enough, I managed to read 12 books in December, which I'm very happy about. That in total came to 3,519 pages, so yay, I'm so happy with that. The first book I read was Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. I ended up giving this 3 stars because I don't know, it was okay, it was fine, it was a very easy read. I did listen to it on audiobook on Scribd. And it was very easy to listen to. I like the kind of gruesome parts because I like zombies and stuff, but I don't know, the rest of it was a bit I don't know, I guess being 27, sometimes young adult can seem a bit immature for me. I don't know if that was what it was, I don't know. But I also did see the who the culprit was coming a mile off, unfortunately. But I did end up giving it 3 stars. It was still okay. The second book I read was Mr. Monster by Dan Wells. This is the second in the John Wayne Cleaver series. The first one is I Am Not a Serial Killer. Can't really say much because it is the second in the series, but basically John Wayne Cleaver is diagnosed as a sociopath and he does not want to commit a murder, and there's killings going on in town that he feels like he needs to figure out because he thinks it's a serial killer and he's obsessed with serial killers. So yeah, basically that's what it's about. This was a reread for me. I first read this last year because I'm trying to reread the books that I've already read up to and then read the final 2 books in the series. But I ended up giving this 5 stars the second time round because I just love John Wayne Cleaver. I don't know why, I just really do. The next book I read was the Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. This is the last book in the Percy Jackson series. Honestly, I think I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was pretty good. I liked how it wrapped a bunch of stuff up. Obviously, I can't really say much again because it's the last book in a series, but Percy Jackson is it a demigod? Is that what it's called? It's a half god, half human. And his dad is the god of the sea, Poseidon. So yeah, I like Percy Jackson. He's a bit immature. I mean, I think this is a middle grade, so I'm not surprised. But I just think he's hilariously stupid at some points. I just find it funny for some reason. I don't know, I just find myself laughing at his stupidity all the time. I think it's hilarious. But I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really, really good. And the next book I read was Hunted Dracula by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the sequel to Stalking Jack the Ripper. I gave this 5 stars. I love this series so much. The world is just so immersive that honestly you really do feel like you're there. I've said this so many times now at this point, but honestly you feel like you're there with Thomas Creswell and Audrey Rose Wadsworth. Their banter is the best thing ever, honestly. I don't think I've fallen in love with a set of characters as much as I have since I started reading the John Wayne Cleaver series. Honestly, I love them equally. But yeah, Thomas and Audrey Rose's banter is hilarious. I love it so much. 5 stars. Love the story. Yeah, I don't think there's really much else to say about it. But they're basically in Romania and there's a bunch of killings going on and they're trying to figure it out. So yeah, I love it so much. Next is The Walking Dead's Here's Negan by Robert Kirkman. I always find it so hard to say Robert Kirkman. at the same time. I don't know why, I just find it hard to say his name. But I really enjoyed this. I think he gave it 4 stars. Yes, did. I love Negan because Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Don't really need to say much other than that. Basically, it's his origin story on how he became Negan and how he got Lucille and how that came about. And yeah, the graphics in this are so good. And I just love Negan so much. Yeah, definitely. Negan is definitely one of my favourite characters of the Walking Dead universe, for sure. The next book was The 12 Days of Winter by Stuart McBride. This is just 12 short stories. They all interconnect for 12. It's just set at Christmas time. I think it's Christmas Eve and all that, and there's something to do with a robbery, there's murders, and they all connect some way. And it's just so cool how he managed to do that. And stupidly, I did not know. I read this the first time a couple years ago, and I didn't know at the time. I don't know if I was completely blind, but I didn't know that the chapters are the actual title, bits in the, I don't know if it's a poem or a song, A Partridge in a Pear Tree, and all of that. It goes on to 3 French hens and all that. I did not know that the first time round, and I felt so stupid about it. But I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I love Stuart McBride's writing. I love his D.S. Logan McCrae series. It's really, really good. So this was really, really cool to read. And it's cool understanding the language and everything. All the swear words is I use those on the daily. It's awesome. It's so funny. Next book was The Book Thief. I gave this 5 stars. This took me since October to complete because I found out very quickly that you had to be in the right frame of mind to read about this kind of thing. Very heartbreaking. I love Liesel and Rudy, I think his name is Rudy. I don't know, I bawled my eyes out so many points in the story. It's very interesting that it's narrated by Death. I think it's a cool take on it. Because it's unbiased, I guess you would say. But yeah, I thought, I just loved it so much. Yeah, I don't know. It was just so sad. And yeah, I don't know, I was crying through the majority of this book. Yeah, I loved it so much. Definitely one of my favourite books of 2019 for sure. Just sad. Yeah. I wouldn't say I enjoyed reading about that kind of stuff because I don't. But it is interesting to me. So, yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I love Liesel. And the next book is Escaping from Houdini by Kerry Maniscalco, the 3rd book in the Stalk and Jack the Ripper series. Still don't know if that's what it's called. I don't know if that's the actual title of the series or not. But again, this time with Thomas and Audrey Rose, we're on a boat, and there's a travelling magic show circus type thing, throwing knives, and people keep coming up murdered, and obviously they have to figure it out. And I gave this 4 stars this time instead of 5 because there was a love triangle that was not impressed with. Honestly, Thomas and Audrey are absolutely perfect for each other, and this was completely unnecessary. That's kind of what brought the score down, unfortunately. I mean, it is close to a 5, so I would say it's more of a 4.5 than a 4, but it definitely did hinder my love for it, unfortunately. Yeah, I still loved the story of it. I have travelled on a massive boat before, so it was very nostalgic in that sense, I guess. But I really did quite like it. But again, the love triangle was completely unnecessary. Still not impressed, but I still did love the characters though. Yeah. I don't know if I said, but 100 Proof Dracula and Escaping from Houdini, me and Steph Loves did buddy read both of these, and we did buddy read the last book in the series. But that'll be in my January wrap up. But yeah, we've both been loving this series together. Yeah. The next book I read was Animal Farm by George Orwell. Unfortunately, I gave this 2 stars. I wouldn't say I hated it in any way, shape, or form. I can understand how people would love it and enjoy it, and I can appreciate the message that was inside of it, the political standpoint of it, where like if someone is given enough power, how they can abuse that power and use it for the wrong thing. And I liked that message, but unfortunately I am not a political person in any way, so I think it's all personal preference. I can still appreciate the message. I'm not hating on the book at all. I can still appreciate the message in it, but I'm just not a political person. That's why I gave it 2 stars, unfortunately. It's more of a 2.5, but it's definitely not a 3 because I didn't enjoy it, I guess. Yeah, unfortunately. It was more disappointing than me disliking it, I guess. It was more personal preference. Yeah. The next book I read was The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick. Yeah, that's what it is. This is a heavy book. I read this in, 1 or 2 hours because I didn't know going into it. It is mostly just illustrations and artwork. Barely any actual written words. And if it is, it's not like full pages either. So it's very, very fast to read. I have watched the movie Hugo and I loved it. But I just love the relationship that blossoms between Hugo Cabret and Georges Méliès. I don't know, I just like the story of Hugo and Georges and the whole like movie background to it, because I love movies, so that was really, really cool. But I love the artwork of this book so much. It's incredible. I ended up giving this 4 stars. It was not like absolutely mind-blowing amazing, but it was very, very damn near close. So 4 stars. It was really good. The second to last book I read for 2019 was A Kestrel for a Knave by Barry Hines. I remember watching this movie Kes back when I was in English. This was maybe 15 years ago, I would want to say. It's a very long time ago. And I loved the movie, so I finally managed to actually get my hands on the book that it was based on. And it is set in Yorkshire, I think, if I remember right, because I found the language a bit hard to read because of my dyslexia. Some of the words were like, what? But I did catch on as you go through it, so it's not too bad. This is about a boy, what's his name, Billy Casper, who ends up raising a kestrel hawk and training it, and then something happens. This is sad, but I will not spoil. But I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was more nostalgic more than anything. I still really did enjoy it, and I loved being back in this story. Yeah, I really quite did enjoy reading it instead of watching it this time. I do want to find the movie so I can rewatch the movie because it's been a long time. But yeah, it was still really good. And the last book I read in 2019 was Becoming the Dark Prince by Kenneth Maniscalco. I ended the year on a high note. I give this 5 stars. This is the book in between Escaping from Houdini and Capturing the Devil, that's what it is. It's like the 3.5 book. And it's from Thomas Creswell's perspective, whereas the other books are from Audrey Rose Wadsworth's perspective. And honestly, no offense to Audrey Rose, but holy shit, I love Thomas's point of view. It explains so much as to why he reacted a certain way to the love triangle that happened in Houdini. So yeah, honestly, I loved it, and I hope she does more from his perspective, because it was incredible, honestly. 5 stars, amazing. But yeah, that's it. That's all 12 books I read in the month of December. It's a pretty good month for me. I was so surprised. But I hope you enjoyed. Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram are in the description as always. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.